It's your boy Young and Hefe. Don't care about number what the check say.
KBL, you a menace.
Yeah. It's a lot of little boys out here talking that talk, but ain't spinning and walking that walk. 5 bills to get you whacked, 50 shots up in this Mac, face shots to make the news, we just step when they relax, group chats to get you tapped, forehead up in my lap, when they pump we run it back, tell my youngin' cut no slack, 5 bills to get you whacked. What's the good old big deal with the good old people, man? It's your boy Young Ant Hefe. Don't care about number what the check say. Make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe, because it don't cost you nothing to press that button. And if you ring that notification bell, I'm going to bring you mail. What's the good old big deal with the good old people? It's Hot Topics with your boy Young Ant Hefe. And I'm here to deliver you another one like the other one. The recipient of Hot Topic, Freeway Rick Ross, Wack100, and 600. So, we all know Freeway Rick Ross, you know what I'm saying, in this LA area, you know what I'm saying, is a legend. And possibly, arguably, throughout the world, you know what I'm saying, can be a legend, you know what I'm saying. Freeway Rick Ross was partly used by the CIA when drugs were being imported over here in the United States. Now, when it hit this West Coast region, Los Angeles, you definitely can thank Freeway Rick Ross and give it thanks to him. A lot of people don't know John Singleton, somebody else that's also out of South LA and somebody who grew up in the Hoover's territory, as well as Freeway Rick Ross, but in different territories of the Hoovers. John Singleton, the hundreds, Freeway Rick Ross, I believe, between like the 70s and the 80s, you know what I'm saying, during the time of the Hoover Connect and stuff like that. Neither both of them, I think it's reasonably to say, belong to no gang. The movie Snowfall, arguably can be said, is about his life and his lifestyle and things that happen. So Freeway Rick Ross and been down twice, you know what I'm saying, on drug cases. And he had got back. He had life sentences to where he would still be locked down today hadn't he not got back, hadn't he not had politicians in his pocket. Well, not in his pocket that came to help. People like Maxine Waters, I wouldn't say she was in his pocket. That's the wrong word to say. But her seeing the treachery and knowing the treachery and seeing the entrapment that the government was trying to place on this guys, she went to bat for him, you know what I'm saying, and helped him out. Now, during one of these cases, as he would tell you, Freeway Rick Ross gave some information on the police. Now, a small percentage of people will probably try to play this and call you a snitch. Oh, you told, telling is telling, no matter who it's on. But it is what it is. When you got cricket cops, CIA agents, or whoever trying to place you under the jail for rotten games they ain't played and entrapments they place you in, and you put them on blast, man, it's all fair in the game of war. It's all love and fair in the game of war. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And I am one of the people who, I'm with him and anybody else who and did not allow themselves to be entrapped by no police when the police was being cricket themselves and trying to place them under the jail. That ain't no telling. So, however, it looks like Freeway Rick Ross and Wack100 is going back and forth about some type of telling. And yeah, this is on Vlad, so we have to cover this. So Vlad tell Freeway Rick Ross, like, man, I was going back and forth with Wack100, trying to say that you an informant. And Freeway Rick Ross, like, man, I'm kind of disappointed. I guess Freeway Rick Ross, you know, probably had some dealings with Wack100. I had a relationship with him for sure. They got each other's number and the phone. You know, you on Vlad TV saying that I'm a Rezak, but not producing a Feezak. Now, Weezak know that's Rezone. You know what I'm saying? So, well, Wack is saying that, well, I ain't got the work, but either I seen the work or somebody read it. And like Freeway Rick Ross is telling me, man, knowing who I am, and if you got any relations to me, just by somebody speaking my name and saying they got some work, you would want to copy that and should have been like, hey, let me get that, let me take a picture of that or something. But instead, you speaking on something you don't know about. So we about to get into this content, and y'all already know, man, it's the Hef Weight and the Hef Effect. We're going to commentate.
Claimed that you had some level of cooperation, which I tried to argue with, but, you know, he seemed to have certain things in mind that I wasn't familiar with. So you actually saw this interview, right?
Yeah, I saw that, man. It was a joke, really. I mean, you know, when you hear people who have never been in a courtroom, when you hear them talk, they don't understand the law at all. And in my opinion, Wack is one of those people who don't understand the law. You know, what he calls cooperation, people who are going to court fighting cases, we call it discrediting police officers. So, and what I mean by that is, first of all, anybody who go to jail is really committing a crime. The first thing they say is, I didn't do it. You know, even if they did do it, they're gonna say the police is lying. Mm-hmm. He planted the gun wasn't my gun. I didn't have a gun. So all of those are forms of discrediting police officers. So when a police officer gets on the witness stand and they lie, and then you get on the witness stand and you tell them what really happened, that's not cooperation. That's called discrediting police officers.
All right, well, let's go ahead and FaceTime Wack. Let's actually get his take on it in person. I got Freeway Ricky right here, and he wants to address what you said in our last interview.
What up, Wack?
What's up?
You know
what? Me in a whole lot of BS.
No, I didn't get you in nothing. You brought that shit up. You should have already known when you bring my name up.
I always defend it. You gotta remember, I know that what you did with the dirty police, we never gave a damn about that. That's it. So what? Right? But I didn't know nothing about.
Girls really want a man that isn't afraid to take things in his own hand. You know what's gonna help you get there? Blue Chew. It's chewable tablets that come in discreet packaging. You can grab Blue Chew for absolutely free for your first month. So what are you waiting for?
All the plugs and connects in Ohio and some dude in Miami and something they had.
You should, if you don't know, you shouldn't mention it. We should only speak on stuff we know about.
Okay, so somebody say, and you know day one, Freeway Rick is snitch. Hey, listen, bro, all he did was gave up the dirty police who crossed him. That ain't telling. As far as I'm concerned, I always took that stance.
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
We ain't talking about that. We talking about he gave up the connect.
The connect told on me. What the fuck they talking about? They don't read. You got people, you listening to people who don't read and don't know nothing about the law.
Okay.
My connection set me up.
Okay, so I can remember what they was reading. They was reading something, and my man had it, right? And it was something about something in Ohio. You had something going on in Ohio?
I got arrested in Ohio.
Yeah, something about Ohio. That other dude name who I didn't heard you mention, that was working with the government, Clint, whatever that dude name is.
Blandone.
Yeah, Blandone allegedly plugged you with somebody in New York, and you gave them up. I don't know. Listen, they reading it.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me tell you something. There's no way possible that there's anybody on the planet that I could have told on that wouldn't have came forward, as public as I am right now, that wouldn't come forward and say, hey, Rick told on me. Where he at?
This what I'm going to do. I'm gonna go get what they got, and I'm gonna send it to you, cause they got it. That's why I couldn't.
They ain't got nothing. They got dreams and lies.
It also says what I've always stood on, which he cleared up.
Dreams and lies.
And yes, I did stand up in courtroom and tell that Blandon was a lying motherfucker.
Well, my thing was your time deduction, whatever it was, came from the crooked cop shit, which I don't give a fuck about that. So what?
That was in my first case.
Yeah, they showed that. I'm like, nah, you see it right there. That
150 people got out of jail from that, including John Boy, Big Puddin', the list go on and on of the people. Jesse from Main Street, Droopy, all them got time reductions when those cops got indicted.
I've always said I support him with that, but it's the other shit in there. These I never knew nothing about. You know,
but you still don't know nothing about it.
All right, so y'all see what's going on, man, and I'm gonna say this, Wack, man, if you watch this one, man, you know better, man. So, like I said, it was saying before I dropped this part of the segment of them speaking, the only cooperation you would only hear of from Freeway Rick Ross if somebody tried to say that he cooperated on the police, which Freeway Rick Ross break down and say, but look, man, check this out. The police was lying, police was cricket, and I got on the stand and told the truth. That's called discrediting the police. Wack agreed with him. Regardless of what happened between you, the police, whether you told or gave some true information or false information, I'm not discrediting you for that. I'm with you on that. I would have did the same thing. So Freeway Rick Ross like, well, what are you talking about then? So Wack was like, well, it's something that happened in did he say Miami or Minnesota? I want to say it might have been Minnesota. Excuse me, you know what I'm saying? But it might have been Minnesota. So he like, yeah, I got arrested out there. Well, yeah. So, well, I remember Wack say something about you told on somebody or told. He like, man, my plug told on me. My plug set me up, told on me. Man, who I told on. Like, you're not going to hear nothing about me telling on nobody. Like, so Wack, like, come at the angle, well, it's about somebody a time cut. So a lot of people don't know that Freeway Rick Ross had 2 cases. He had been out twice. Same type cases. So Freeway Rick Ross had to drop names like, man, if people trying to say I got in over a time cover, you got to say Droopy from Main Street, this person, this person, this person. All these people got time cuts and got out because the police is cricket. Where is this stuff coming from, bruh? Like, so you never want to be in a situation where you trying to explain what somebody told you. Like, let's take this. If this was the settings of a yard, it can go bad on the streets as well. But I'm on the yard like, oh yeah, oh boy, it's snitch. You know, I was with Poncho and them, and they was reading it to me. Whoa, whoa. If you ain't got it, you should even speak on it. Wack should have went ahead and did what he told Rick he was gonna do when he was on the phone. I'ma grab this and send this to you. Because right, if you my mans or somebody I'm dealing with, right when somebody reading me something, I'ma tell them to send me that. Like, forget these fake laws of attractions, rules and regulations. People say, oh man, you know, if you read it, man, you gotta be responsible for it to do something. If that's not my situation, I can go about it how I want to go about it. You know what I'm saying? But just having this information and being privy to this information can save some other people from somebody who's potentially a rat. But you don't ever want to be in a situation where you explaining what somebody told you or read to you, because that gives the person that you talking about the green light to take flight, because you gotta have the black and white. And that's what Rick is basically saying, like, boo, what a black and white at, man? You talking about something that somebody told you, and I don't care whoever told you whatever they told you, they not reading right and they don't understand the law. And just furthermore, it should be public knowledge. Go get what you talking about. And man, that's how it goes. So let's get back into the rest of this content. You already know it's the halfway to half effect. We gonna commentate.
Work on.
They ain't got no paperwork. That's make believe. That's cartoon shit. You shouldn't participate in that kind of shit. I look at you higher than that.
No, listen. For one, if I'm gonna participate in defending you, like I always been, they put something in front of me, I can't ignore it.
If somebody put something in front of you, it would be public knowledge. It wouldn't have to be something that you have to go and dig up. You should be able to go to Ohio. You can go to Ohio right now and pull up the news article, and what it's gonna tell you is a $10 million man came to town to face trial. That's what it's gonna say.
I'm gonna be real with you. I ain't never dug your shit up. I've always took it for face value. I'm gonna keep it real. Everything I repeat is what I heard you say.
And all you gotta do is pull it up in the newspaper. When I went to court, it was in the newspaper.
Well, nah, but fuck the newspaper, because the newspaper could be manipulated.
But where they gonna get the paperwork from?
Well, all paperwork is public record. You know that, unless it's sealed.
Where they gonna get it from though?
Big trucks are dangerous, and they can cause big, bad injuries. But the big trucking companies don't stand.
Well, I'm gonna hit dude because 600 of them got it. I'm gonna hit dude and get it.
600 ain't got it. 600 call me all the time. What is you talking about?
Bullshit.
600 ain't got no. Hold on, let me call 600 right now. Where my phone at?
Because he was there with me when they brought it. Call him. Yeah. Yeah, he was there with me when they brought it.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, get that, because he was more on their side than my side.
Listen, if it was somebody I told on, they done came public. They done went on Vlad and say, no, I'm just telling you, use logic sense though. If it was somebody that I had told on, he'd already came public and said that Rick told on me. Just like the dude did with Meech.
It's the Ohio dude and New York dude.
When I went to Ohio, I went to court by myself.
And I guess that other dude was down in Florida at the time. That whatever that weird day, that black.
And I've never been indicted or nothing in New York.
Nah, it wasn't you was indicted in New York. He had set you up with a plug in New York. And get 600 on the line. He ain't answering you?
No, he ain't answering. He might answer you. You hit him and see if he answer you.
Hold on. I might can do this, but we all on here. Hold on. Yeah, let's do this, because he was in the room. Share. Hold on. Share.
Yeah, but you shouldn't be sparing gossip though, homie.
That ain't gossip. They ready.
No, that's gossip. What you saying is straight.
I'm trying to tell you. They ready.
What you saying though is straight gossip, homie.
They ready.
You know they don't even do that in the hood.
Listen, they ready, bro. Like, what the fuck you want?
They should have handed you the paperwork. You should have got the paperwork. They should have handed you the paperwork in your hand.
Hold on, let's get 600 on it. I'm sitting there defending you, and they shoot me. Only thing I can stand on is his time deduction came from the. It said that at the end of it, at the bottom of it. His time deduction came from the cop shit.
It wouldn't even have nothing to do with it. That happened in L.A.
Yeah.
The crooked cops was in L.A.
They had all your shit.
How they get all my shit?
The same way they get anybody else shit. I just never went looking for your shit, bro. I never went looking for your shit. On some real shit. I just took what you said at face value.
I ain't never said nothing. I ain't never told nobody that I didn't snitch. I don't have to prove myself to nobody.
Well, I never considered you what you did to the police snitching, personally.
Nobody in the pen didn't either.
Yeah, I've never.
You know, I walked around Lompoc with everybody.
Listen,
from Ray, and I got passes that most people didn't get when I was in the pen. You know, I could go to the Mexican Mafia table and sell cigarettes and candy and soda. Everybody.
Yeah, where this nigga on?
He must know what we want. Or think I want to collect some of my money he owed me.
Wack, man, you know this is all wrong, and I don't have a dog in this fight. You know what I'm saying? So, as Freeway Rick Ross is saying, it's basically gossip at this point, for sure, because you gotta have that work, and it ain't even no point of Wack even tongue wrestling or going back and forth with Freeway Rick on Vlad or over the phone over this. My first thing would have did, soon as Freeway Rick Ross would have been like, "Hey, look, homie. So excuse me, it wasn't Minnesota, it was Ohio." First thing, as soon as I said Ohio, and Freeway Rick Ross bucked that $10 million man newspaper article, this and that. I would have hung up, hold on, and let me call the people who referenced all this. So they try to get 600 online. I don't know if these were 600 people, but whoever these people was that had to work, we got to get them online, and they already should have had that in their arsenal. Wack in 600. So you hear Freeway Rick say something about 600 ain't gonna pick up probably because he know we both call him. He owe me some money or something or whatever. 600, I just seen a segment the other day, 600, like he wasn't paying that. He bent on, since him and Big U was cool, and that was a long time ago. Big U told him don't pay that. So he was like, that's gone. So I don't know how that's gonna work, if they gonna work some out, or what the case may be. But about these snitch allegations, Wack should have just hung up. Ain't even no point of going back and forth or trying to say this is valid, because you basically stamping it. And if you stamping it, you gotta remember verbatimly what was said, because you basically like, oh, they had it in front of me and they was reading it to me. What I was supposed to do, hey homie, give me a copy of that, forward that to me, I need a copy, take a picture, or let me get the original, and let me make a copy off the bat, because I gotta confront Rick about this. If I don't confront Rick about this, this has got something I gotta have in my arsenal. And Wack is a person that likes to have things in his arsenal. Wack keep an arsenal, keep a treasure trove, a chest, you know what I'm saying, dug up of stuff, waiting to drop the boom on somebody. So it's like, why not this? It's like, why not this? And then you got to listen to Rick was saying, because Rick is spitting common sense. When I was in the feds, Rick was in the feds, and Rick definitely walked every yard he was on with no problem. Nothing ever happened to him. Dudes is checking that paperwork. And definitely when you a big name like Freeway Rick Ross, you got a lot of hate that come with that. A lot of dudes that don't like you. A lot of dudes that never got their chance with you. A lot of dudes who probably owed you money that was on that yard, who was in there big cripping and blooding, and was like, you know what I'm saying, just looking for you to do something on a square tip that press play on you. So for sure, that paperwork was went through, was checked thoroughly, and everybody agreed with everything that was in that paperwork. Because for sure they would have been off with his head. Like he said, he was on Lompoc, he was on these yards when these yards were penitentiaries and stuff like that, before they was mediums and lows and stuff like that. So like for sure it's gossip. You know what I'm saying? Raw Freeway Rick like, man, look, produce the paperwork. Like, I ain't told on nobody. Like, regardless of whatever y'all talking about in Ohio, I got told on by my plug. The police told on me. I told what happened. As far as with the police, other than that, you're not going to find no work saying that Freeway Rick Ross told on anybody, man. And it's for anybody out there. When you coming like this and you saying somebody doing something, F coming saying what somebody told you all. Like, I'm just saying what they told me. You will want to have them facts, have a copy. Like, look, man, I heard it from Wooty Woo. That's how I got it. And here it is right here. So let's see what's going to happen. You know, Freeway Rick Ross, you know, he seemed like he confident. Ain't no work. Let's see if Wack find the work. Let's see if they get it produced. Something else he said that was real important. Look, man, y'all see y'all just had a whole thing with Meech. A dude coming forth saying Meech did this and that. Y'all ain't had that with me. Why this person ain't been on Vlad? Why this person ain't came forward? Why this not public knowledge? With that being said, I'm going to conclude this there. It's your boy Young and Hefe. Don't care about number what the check say. Make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe, because it don't cost you nothing. Then press that button, and if you ring that notification bell, I'm going to bring you mail.
We all from 8 Trade Gangster Crip.
Born and raised.
That's right, born and raised. And we still run fades, baby.